Hello, Daddy.
It's me. Oh,
hold on. I'm actually on the phone, my dad.
sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay, hold on. I'm sorry I was on the phone.
Before your dad comes in, though, I was going to say, I don't know how, because it's a bit, oh, okay.
Say again. You'll be fine. He's easy. It's easy as Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Are you shy? Are you late?
Maybe.
You'll be fine. Just think of it like a client.
Seriously. That is not helping in the way you think it is.
You'll be fine. He's still trying to connect his audio. Hi there. Welcome to the More Sibyl podcast. This is a podcast for Blacks, Asians, and those who love them. I am Mo, and I am your host, ready to spark your curiosity as I take you on this adventurous ride of exploring cultures through the stories of my guests from all over the world. On this show, we get really personal, discussing salient issues that are relevant to our contemporary age and also building community around them. As our guests exercise courage and vulnerability in sharing their life's experiences, we hope that in turn you are inspired by them and that you get the courage needed to set your own stories free. Enjoy the ride, and thank you so much for listening. Mr. Femi.
Oh, yeah?
Don't change your country. This Buhari is messing you up. Look at the time it took you to just come on the whatever. After you say it's not Buhari.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear. How are you?
This is my friend, Dr. Ayomide and I. He's based in the UK. He and I are now the new co-hosts of the show. And this is my dad, Mr. Femi Ogunsanya.
Please, to meet you.
Good to meet you too, sir.
He's a proper Buharist, by the way. And yeah, he has very radical political views. We don't always agree on our political views, but
well, I'm sure we're not discussing politics
we'll have
tonight.
flaws. So I'm really want to do the introduction. You're going to ask him a lot of questions.
How will I do the introduction now? Hey,
all right. Daddy,
there's not. First of all, just so you know,
what?
there's okay. Tell you what, I can do the. No, it
Let
doesn't.
me do
Really
I'll do the introduction.
Yeah.
I'll do it, and you just
especially because I don't.
you
know what I mean.
I do. All right, Daddy, am I Dearest? Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. And this is Mo and
Ayomide.
Yes. Today I have someone that is very dear to my heart. Actually, probably one of the most requested guests to have back on the show. The last time they were on the show was in 2018, I think. And then the other time before that was sometime in 2017. But so back to have them back to do more of an extension of our ongoing conversations. And I'm going to link the two past episodes. One was a full episode. The other one was a live show on Facebook. Without further ado, please join me welcoming my beloved father, Mr. Femi Ogunsanya, to Obafemi Obashola. Olufemi Obashola Ogunsanya, back to the podcast. Hello, Daddy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Hello,
fine.
good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening, my dear.
I've been teasing every day.
I have two questions for you, Tolani, before we go further.
What are the questions?
One, the fact that you were saying, I feel like we should tell people why we're laughing when we started.
Okay.
So that, because I feel like the people already suspect us. So
yes.
if we don't explain ourselves, they will continue to suspect. Why are these people laughing? Are they okay? But then the other thing I was going to say is, I noticed you were saying they when you're referring to your dad, and I was wondering if
Yorubani,
exactly.
Yeah.
Was that you trying to hide his gender, or was that you?
No, it's the Yoruba part of me.
transliterating?
It's the Yoruba part of me. That's the Yoruba part of me. I'm a proper Yoruba girl. So we've had some technical hitch. Is that the joke? And
Yep.
just also teasing Ayomide about this whole thing. I told Ayomide that he's going to be asking most of the questions because it's the conflict of interest, But anyways, we'll try and make it a good show as we usually do. So first, Daddy, yes, how are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay. The weather is cool.
It's cool, right?
It's cold.
Is it cold or cool?
Oh, it's cool.
Cool.
Coach,
I've not told you. So let me just interrupt and say something silly that I don't know if you know, because I don't think I mentioned this to you, Tolani. I woke up this morning and I was checking the weather, as I always do in the morning because I'm in England. And it turned out that I wondered if I was not making a mistake and looking at the weather for Lagos, which I also have on my...
Oh, you have both of them.
Because today we had a high of 31 degrees.
That's hot.
In the
Celsius?
UK.
Is that Celsius?
Yes.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's very hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here it's 40, 45. Now we're doing 40 and 45.
I honestly checked my forecast and I realized for the first time I've ever checked it. One, I was in Ipswich. I wasn't looking at Lagos weather. And I did check Lagos weather, and Lagos weather was 24. And I was like, we are actually hotter today than Lagos. Which is wild to me.
It's getting hotter. It's getting hotter. So anyways, good to know you're doing cool. But Dad, how do you feel about... You're actually quite popular on the show. People have been requesting you to come back. They think you're very funny. They like, your perspective. They really enjoyed the last 2 shows you had. How does that make you feel?
Feel good. Very popular.
Yes.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, right? All right. Well, good to have you back and cannot wait to extend this conversation.
And good to meet you too, because so I don't know if everyone knows this, but this is my first time of meeting Tolani's dad because yes, it actually is. So
that is true.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot about you, but it is good to meet you in person actually, because you're here in person, even if it's not physical. So yeah, good to meet you. I suppose the biggest question I want to know, first of all, is how would you describe Tolani?
Look at you set up. We had questions that our assistant has prepared and it just went off script. Ayomide.
Well, to be fair, I want to know a lot about Daddy, but first of all...
Actually, that's a very good question. The only regret was I didn't ask it, which, again, it would be like the purpose. But yeah, I'm curious to hear his answer.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear the question, Dad?
No.
Oh, you want to ask it again?
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I was asking that first of all, I was saying that it's good to meet you because I've heard so much about you and we've never actually met. And unfortunately, I've never got to meet you like physically, but at least it's good to actually get to see you, even if it's electronic and virtual. And now that I've seen you, I want to ask the burning question, which is, I've heard so much about you, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about this wonderful woman.
So he wants to know what you think of, like, what am I like? How would you describe me? Judas.
I think he has used one word, adjective to qualify it. Wonderful woman. So what else do I need to say?
Oh, well,
you are angel.
Angel.
Sorry, go on. Please go on. Sorry.
With the firstborn. You. I don't know. I'm just short of that word to use, but you're not a troublesome person. Right from day one. So you maintain that attributes up to now. So I thank God for that.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to say for everyone who can't see Tolani that she's blushing. She's blushing to high heavens.
How do you follow up? How do you follow? I want to follow up to that.
Oh, trust me, I have a follow-up.
Oh my goodness. You came with it. Okay, go ahead. I'll just let you lead this conversation then.
Well, I suppose, first of all, let me just thank you again for coming on the show with us. And especially because, this is just the perfect time to have you on. We've been talking about fathers, in the current sort of series that we're doing in honor of Father's Day. And yeah, it just felt right and appropriate to speak to, the most important father on this show, to be honest.
Including yours?
Well, yeah, because, she's the father of the founder. Or he's the father of the founder. So, I think that counts for an extra vote that I'm happy to give you in this case.
Thank you. I'll take it.
But yeah, I suppose the question I'd like to ask, I suppose, is what was your own experience of fatherhood? Especially because obviously I feel like in a lot of fathers that one meets, it's either they learn so much from their dad that they want to pass on, or they saw things about their dad that they thought, oh, I want to do that differently. And I was wondering what was your own experience, and what things did you feel influenced you, either in terms of what you wanted to do with your children or what you wanted to do differently?
Thank you for the question. Like my late dad, God grant him eternal rest, was there for us because my dad had was separated from his wife when we were young. So he alone brought us up. So my dad was our mom and our dad at the same time. So we are used to him. So anything he does, we try to copy. But the only issue is that we come from a poor background. So the money was not that flowing. But out of that, no money was able to send us to school. So from there, I think he sent me out to secondary school. From secondary school, I took out upon myself to look for a job, and then from there, I got admission to higher institution. So that was what I did for myself. And I said, okay, if I can struggle to do this for myself, when I get married, my children will not go through this kind of, and make sure that whatever I have to spend on them for education, which I tried, to the best of my ability. I was able to raise all of them. I think in my house now, all of them are graduates. So I think from what I saw, that education is very vital. You cannot, those days, our old fathers believed in marrying many wives, and then for their farm, so that the wives and the children can work on the farm. So education was not part of their priority, just to make sure that all this subsistence family way of raising a family, they were into it. But now, we don't need to go through that kind of. We have to make sure that our children are well educated to give us rest of mind tomorrow. And some guys now that are not well educated, you see them doing area boys, doing sort of things in the street, on the streets. If they are well educated, they will not be doing that kind of thing. But lack of money on their family make them to be a street boy. So we can see that education, we kind of give the society the kind of free society that we all crave for. Not a society where you have fear of going out, either in the night or daytime, without having that fear of being robbed. So I thank God that I was able to do, with the little resources I have, I able to, fulfill my dream of ensuring that my children are well educated. coupled with the assistance of my wife, she has been supportive up to now.
Thank you very much for that. So, John said anything to that before I ask another question?
I always said that, education was just one of the biggest and I think the most important gifts that my dad gave us. He made sure we went to very good schools. It means why I can stay here and sit here and speak impeccable English. And even if we didn't have a lot growing up to explore through other things, but through books and through a very solid education. So I always say that, my parents, they did a banging job. Growing up wasn't quite easy, but they didn't spare anything and they didn't hold anything back in providing the education. So I want to thank you, Dad, for doing that for us. Yeah. So
you're welcome.
Yes. Yeah.
So now we know why you're an ethical.
Yes, it's paying off. It's paying off. You see that everything they earned, it went to your education for the most part. You can't just no one to use the opportunity. You just be ungrateful and so yeah. Even sometimes I remember when I was younger, I didn't like going to school, and my mom would have to beg me, put biscuits in my bag, cajole me to go to school. Eventually I got a hang of it and I haven't left school since then because I clearly what we want. But yeah, just thanking you and Mom for all of the sacrifice. I know you could have used the money for maybe better housing or traveling or buying, flashy cars, but you put all of that into our education. And those schools weren't cheap because I went to very good primary, private schools. So thank you so much. So I guess my question for you, based on the past conversations we've had on the show, I think because our relationship was not always quite, well, in my opinion, weren't very close when I was growing up. And we've already talked about this on the show, but it came down to you being very busy with work and all of the stress that came with that. I guess my question for you would be, and what kind of advice do you give someone now that is trying to, put food on the table, provide good education to their kids, but doesn't have the time to spend with their family? How would you suggest the balance, providing to their family and also spending quality time with their kids and spouse?
I think it's not that the answer to that question is not perfect. It's just for the person to balance it. I think if it's not 50-50, 60-40 percentage. If the work's taking a lot of time, they can look for ways of managing the time, make sure that he spends time with the family, mostly on weekends, if not weekdays, weekends. I think you'll be able to see to the the well-being of the children, not leaving everything for the mother alone. Well, at times the children need their father too.
Speaking of which, I have as obviously, Tolan is a mom now. So, not exactly dad. But what's, and I'm sure you've had these conversations, but, what were the things that, as you watched her grow up and, you especially when you knew she was going to have, her own child, and, what were the things that you wanted to pass on to her in terms of things she should be aware of or things she should, keep in mind in terms of, parenting from your own experience as a dad?
Totally, for me, I've been a mother before even she got married, because she was partially taking care of the house when she was with us there. So she's close to her mother. So I believe, from my own helicopter view, she's been well tutored by her mother. My own is just to ship in one or two things at times. I don't think I have, but I have had time to even correct her because she behaves well. I'm telling you, so never for once have I even had to, scold her. So she's well behaved. So I believe her mother has coached her. Because her mother is a Bible believer. So let me just say it. Not this evangelism. So coach her. So, but I don't have any. Even if I don't even say anything, she knows what to do at any point in time. So that's just it.
I was going to say, I definitely agree with you on Tolani being a mom, long before, long before she was momming to other people's kids, long before she, got her own kid. And I think that's something I've known since I've known you, actually.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Dad, for that. I guess my follow-up question would be, so I know your family dynamic, your parents were separated. There was a little bit of a polygamous situation, and I imagine it wasn't quite easy growing up. So my question would be, how would you think that growing up with, that family dynamic where your parents were separated and you had, siblings that were from different, moms, how did that affect you personally as a young man and finally as a parent?
Well, we all grew up together, so everybody knows his or her own role. So I don't think we have any cause to quarrel. Most so in Yoruba settings, once you are a senior, so your sibling cannot look up to you and start to talk to you anyhow. It is against the Yoruba values. So it was now that though I have a senior sister in my front, I don't have parents again. I'm the head of the family as a man. Whatever they need to do, they have to first of all consult me. So that system is there. So it must. So I don't have any issue. The only issue I have is that most since my father is we are from polygamous house. So everybody everybody to an extent. You follow your mother's family, some follow their father's family. So at the end of the day, we still meet in their own parents' house. So like the other sibling that went with their mother. So when my daddy died, they have to come. So now they still have to visit the house. Before they go there, they have to tell me they are going to their house. I said, okay, go. So that's just it. So I don't have issue with them. Unless they want to ask for me. I don't go there for money. I don't beg them for money. I said they are begging me for money, no problem. But everybody knows his way of life, so they can't, no problem.
Yeah.
So just, like I said, those days people marry because of family. And those days they don't allow our mothers to go to work, except family work. In fact, those days family do not allow their female children to go to school. Maybe once maybe if after 18 years go and marry. 18 years go and marry. 18 years go and marry. But it's now that things have changed. So you have girls going to school. Those days, if you have 3 girls or 4 girls, only one will be allowed to go. Others will grow up in the house and then they go and learn one trade or the other, tailoring or whatever you call it. From there, they get married after doing their graduation from the trade. So that's just it. So I don't have issue with them.
Oh, and I'll say this, that I know that even because I know your siblings and I know they have such a healthy respect for you, but so I know you've been able to manage it very well, and I see that dynamic with your siblings. They really love you and they respect you and hold you in very high esteem. So I can confirm that. And I think even growing up, when the way, for example, Ayomide, which is your younger sister, she talks about you in a very fond way that even though I couldn't see it, because I know you were very strict with us as a child, I could appreciate it more as I grew older, because she's always in awe of you, and she, holds you in very high esteem and all that. So yeah, kudos to you on that.
Yes, she's my adorable sister.
Yes, she is.
The only pity I have for her is that she lost her husband at
the young age. Yeah. So my aunt is widowed. Yeah, she's been widowed, I think, up to 20 years now, if not. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I wrote, like now, our daughter is going to get admission, so I'm the one running around to look for money to attend. Though she's doing her own, but I think that I need to assist her.
Yeah.
Because of that incident, I had to look for ways of assisting her.
Yeah. All right.
I want to ask something that's a bit maybe sensitive, but I think it's a question that is valuable to understand from someone who has been doing this for a long time and has built the kind of experience that you have, and it has to do with parental guilt, right? And the fact that, and I think Tolani, you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
It's like the occupational hazard of parenting that nobody tells you about is that once you have a child, there's always a little sense of guilt that you have probably for the rest of your life. And that question of feeling like maybe you've not done some things well, or maybe you did some things, just regrets and things like that. So this is sort of two questions. The first half of it is, what are the things that you felt that way about, the things that you've sort of questioned looking back or in the moment that you felt, maybe you wish you'd done that differently. And then after that, how do you deal with those feelings? How do you handle those feelings when they come? like I said, I know it's a bit personal. Okay.
You can handle it, trust me.
I don't, my way of life, I don't regret doing things. Once I do something, I believe for me to do at that point, it's worth doing it. So whether it's negative or positive, once I do something, I move on. No regret. That's me for me. I don't regret. No regret. I don't want something to be giving me a headache. Once I do something, it comes out positive. Eureka. But not, I move on. I don't look back and then continue again. Look for other things to do. And once I speak over it, that's the end of it. I don't regret. Whatever I know, I believe it has the hand of God in it. So I don't regret things. No regret. It's not in my dictionary.
Maybe a sub question to that way. If just casting your mind back to your life as a father so far, if they could go back and change anything, is there anything you would change? Yeah, it doesn't have to be regret. It could if you could want a different outcome. If there's something you could go back in time to change, what would that be if you had any?
Maybe I'll change from Nigeria to US.
I thought you liked Buhari, so you should stay in that country and enjoy it the way it is.
I'm not Buhari to US.
Did you have a chance to be in the US at earlier on?
Oh yeah, he's been here. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
He ran back. The cold in Chicago.
I know, right?
To Chicago for a bit. He came to Oklahoma and then he went to see his friend in Chicago. It was actually
He came to Oklahoma. That's interesting.
Yeah, he was in Oklahoma. Yeah. He was in Oklahoma.
Prepared the way.
Yeah, he did. He came to Oklahoma to see me. He spent like about.
Oh, I thought you meant when you were young.
Oh no. He's been to Atlanta.
Right.
Though. Did you go to Atlanta, US? Atlanta, Nigeria. US 94.
Give me visa, 1994.
Oh, okay. They didn't give him visa. He used to be part of the Nigerian Supporters Club for football. My father is my father is a football head, like Arsenal, Super Eagles.
Please, why did you say this earlier on so that I could ask the important question? What's your club? Fan? I used to be when I was into football.
See, that's the thing. You used to be, right? Nobody should be an Arsenal fan as far as I'm concerned.
Well, my heart couldn't take it, literally.
Exactly. I don't know how anybody can still be a diehard fan. My father has gone to watch them play live before. Like, he's an avid Arsenal fan. I don't know why. We keep praying for him.
Respect, because
stop indulging. Nobody should be an Arsenal fan. With all of their series of failures. Is he still there?
See, that's how you know commitment. That's how you know a keeper.
It's not correct. I think it's torture. Dad, are you still there?
I'm there.
Okay, we're talking about you and your Arsenal. Oh, yeah, what do you have to say about that?
I've changed now to Arsenal club.
Oh, yes.
I can't believe that he actually...
So, for everyone to know, he has just gone and put on an Arsenal jersey, which is just the best thing.
And he's smiling.
I love this so much.
He's smiling like someone that Christmas came ready for. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And I feel like I have to give a running commentary to explain why I'm laughing so hard, because what just happened now is he's dancing.
So his jersey has his number, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I turned around. I didn't see the name. I'm sorry, I didn't see the name.
It's Femi, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
27.
Sweet.
We actually got that for him for one of his birthdays.
Oh, man. This is so good.
Yeah. I think it was from my dad that I learned to pursue a hobby and not be ashamed. Like, just pursue it. And I know he loved football. My father. So
you want to blame me
football.
for your career now? Is that
whatever the hobby? Like,
is that where this is going?
Like, he lived that life to the fullest. Like, he was very committed, like, to football, and he's a hard worker. So his job, like, full time.
You don't need to say he's committed. If once someone is an Arsenal fan and then you say they're committed, that's like saying water is wet.
Water is wet, right? Well, good to see that side of you come. I've actually forgotten about the Arsenal bit until I don't know what even brought up.
Did you forget or did you repress it?
I think it was repressive memory, because every time they would lose, I'm like, Dad, just go over to Chelsea, because that's So one of my brothers is a Chelsea fan. My husband is a Chelsea fan, so I lean more towards Chelsea just because I know Chelsea does better than Arsenal, but that's neither here nor there.
Man.
Chelsea, don't you know that Chelsea is my perpetual wife? In London.
Yeah. Anyways,
they will continue to be my wife.
Yeah.
Forget about on this trophy or that trophy.
Yeah.
But in London, bragging rights.
You have the bragging rights for Chelsea, right?
No, in London.
In London, okay. But outside of London, is Arsenal.
What I say, London, yes, yeah, London, Chelsea and
Arsenal
in London.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm the owner of London.
That's good to hear. We've lost Ayomide. I'm just going to close us off.
You should also cry.
Ayomide, come and take your stuff. This is for the network in Ipswich, which is really bad for network environments. I guess my final question will be, so I guess being a new parent now, we're not in the same location, like geographic location, where you live in a different country, I live in a different country. And it's hard to connect. And I feel like my ideal setting would be to have, all of our families close to us, so that way we can get to interact and, show our child of our culture and have them partake of tradition, get to know the grandparents. But that's not feasible for now. What are some of the ways you think we can stay connected, with our new daughter and then with you and also with Taiwo's parents? Do you have any ideas on how we can be more connected?
Well, the only way I can maybe regular, visits. I don't know how visible it is. Maybe once, maybe in a year, you come home, spend, maybe on our holidays, you come home, spend 1, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and learn 1 or 2 things, and then go back to our base. With that way, you can learn some of our culture too.
Yeah.
I believe that's it. Or maybe if you guys have Yoruba community in your area where you hold one seminar or the other every quarter or during the Easter or any of the holidays, he goes there and learn 1 or 2 things about our culture. That's the only way.
Yep. I mean, we're doing that. I mean, we may have for the first time last year, and we'll keep trying to make that happen, but I think it's just timing and all of that. But yeah, I imagine that it's not going to be quite like having everybody together in the same space. But I'm glad that you guys got to... Yes, in the same environment, yeah. And like maybe next door, just maybe 2 streets down the road or, but I mean, it's what it is. I mean, those are all of my questions for you. I know Ayomide probably had some other questions, but we lost him due to network. I don't know if you have any final thoughts before I wrap us off.
Another day for it.
Another day, right?
Yes, my only worry now is your state or your country.
Which country? We're good.
Where you have been shooting here and there every day.
Oh, I know.
I'm just watching TV now. Alabama again.
Yeah.
Are they from one state to the other until they compete with 50 states in America?
That is tough.
They should look for something to cop this madness. It's not good. Innocent people are being killed.
I agree. I mean,
2 children who are made to,
in Texas, right? Yeah.
Let's face price for because of 18-year wanting to teach his grandmother something.
Yeah.
It's not good. And now Alabama again. I'm just watching the television now. Alabama. Please, you guys should look for something to. Train those boys that are making the place looking like something else.
You're right. I mean, gun violence is a big deal here, and
they are not ready to legislate against it.
I hope the 2 sides can come together because it's getting more ridiculous. It's not even a matter of Republican or Democrat. It's a human crisis, and I also think that
the NRA are not willing to budge.
They have to budge. They have to come in the middle. Yeah.
They are not being it's too much. They don't want to succumb to people's speech. Well, I don't think somebody somewhere will wake up one day and say enough is enough. Because these young boys are not they are getting out of control.
I agree.
You don't go to where all this your mall. Don't stay here too long. Watch out before you enter there.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Thank you. And I cannot wait for Arife to get to know more of you. I know you guys met, and she really likes you a lot because, when we brought her, you both of you were just, I really like seeing the connection between both of you. So I cannot wait for her to get to know you more, and hopefully we can have you come visit us again soon. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on the show, and really appreciate to see you again. Cannot wait to have you back again, and thanks for all you do, and thank you, Daddy.
No problem.
All right, love you. All right.
Yeah. This is everybody.
Okay then. Bye.
Bye.
All right. All right, bye everyone. This has been the Most Sibyl podcast. We lost Ayomide briefly, but we hope to catch you guys on another episode of the Most Sibyl podcast. Stay tuned for more and bye.